Introduce our next speaker, who's going to do a case study on multifamily. I've had a real challenge keeping this slot filled. My good friend and longtime client Ross McAllister had something come up about 10 days ago, and we got another local guy to step up, and he had a conflict, and fortunately Tanner has stepped in here in a very short period of time. He's got a great presentation, and I'm most appreciative of him coming and filling in. And he is with MC Companies, and he is their director of investor capital, responsible for developing and enhancing effective relationships with debt and equity investors, monitoring capital markets and liquidity, and executing appropriate capital transactions. He holds a bachelor's degree in business administration and marketing from Gonzaga University, and he has brokered and syndicated over $275 million in real estate throughout his career. Come on up, Tanner. Thank you.
Hi guys, thanks for having me. My name is Tanner Bickelhop, and the last name is as bad as it sounds. I'm going to give you guys just a quick run view of a development that we're working on here in the southeast part of town called the Place of Presidio Trails. It's a 208 unit development located over off Old Spanish Trail. Projected the total project costs are roughly about $22 million, which puts us about $105,000 a box. The land acquisition price, $2.4, about $11.5 a box. We're estimating that we'll receive somewhere between, we'll write maybe like a 65% loan to value on the debt, which means that we would somewhere come in around $7.6 million on the equity side. The building would consist of 13 buildings, a clubhouse. As you'll see, the unit mix, we are half two bedrooms. An interesting thing about Tucson is that 47% of the unit mix in town is one bedrooms. So there's a huge delta between the one bedroom and two bedroom apartments. Things that drive apartments is population, personal income, and as well as total employment. And if you see in 2013, 2014, total employment is supposed to increase. It is increasing. It's not great, but it is better than the national average. The population will stay somewhat stagnant, might decrease a little bit, and personal income is obviously decreasing just because of the cost. Some interesting statistics according to ALN. There's 233 properties in Tucson. A couple things that we look at from, lots of times investors will say, why should I invest in Tucson? One of the things that I show them is if you look in the 90s, there was 4,500 apartment units built. In 2000s, in the 2000 there was half of that. And in 2010, there's only been 756. But if you look across the board, the average age is around 1983. So these units are extremely old, so there's a huge demand for newer product. This is some of the new construction that's coming online. There's roughly 2,100 units in the pipeline, consisting of 12 properties. 1,100 are what we would call conventional multifamily. You can see the largest portion of that is student housing. This is kind of the snapshot of where that's occurring. You can see in the cluster in the middle there, that's the student housing. Presidio is out east over there by number 3. Current market conditions, as I said, the employment is supposed to increase by 78,000 between 2012 2018. And another thing that I tell investors is if you look at the absorption rate, where new supply is coming on at roughly 572 units, but the absorption is 1,000 units. So there's definitely an outpacing of supply. And on this graph here on the left, they're saying that net absorption won't exceed, or completions won't exceed net absorption until about 2017. I would think that'd be fairly accurate. We are in other parts of the country like Austin, Texas, that might happen sooner, like 2015. Rent inflation. What's interesting about rent inflation is we're seeing a lot of our tenants are bunking up. One of the largest unemployment sectors is the 18 to 25 year old. And as soon as they can get jobs, they will get out of their house, or their parents will push them out, and they're bunking up. We're seeing a lot of tenants, putting 2 bedrooms or 2 beds in a bedroom just so they can get out of the house. The development, they asked to do a kind of a snapshot of a pro forma here. So this is, I was comparing the development cost where we were in February of 2012 to right around today. As you can see, our land has gone up because of land banking, because of the time that we have held the property. Construction hard costs have gone up just because it's going up in all aspects everywhere. Architectural and engineering, that went up. We had a well site that we had to redesign. The municipal impact fees, that actually went down 22%. And for those of you guys that know Ross, he'll just tell you that's because he's a great guy. But the real reason is we had some sewer connection fee reductions. This is our pro forma for the investor. We're seeing a lot, right around 21%. And what this is doing is this is taking a snapshot if we were to sell at that point in time. Obviously, there's no cash flow until year 3. Private investors, what I'm seeing in the market with Tucson, they're seeking on this type of deal between a 14 and 100. The institutional investors is seeking 100. But I am starting to have conversations again with the institutional investor, ironically on new construction. Now nobody's doing anything yet, but they are at least talking about Tucson and requesting more information. So that's it. Thank you.